It begins so quietly, you don't even notice at first. You're 7 years old, maybe 8, and you're standing in the kitchen watching your parent, and you can see them falling apart. Maybe it's the shaking hands of addiction. Maybe it's the clenched jaw of an anger that's always just beneath the surface. Maybe it's just the deafening, hollow silence of someone too broken to show up for themselves, let alone for you. And in that moment, something ancient and primal clicks inside your small, undeveloped mind, a whisper that becomes a roar. This is how a child disappears. Not physically, of course. They're still there, sitting at the dinner table. They smile more. They cry less. They learn to read the room before they speak. They become the emotional thermostat of the household, constantly adjusting their own feelings to maintain the fragile peace. They become small adults, long before their minds, hearts, and nervous systems are ready. And the world, tragically, praises them for it. Oh, you're so mature. You're so responsible. You are so strong. But no one ever stops to ask, at what cost? This is the invisible grief of those who grew up too fast. It's the silent, unmourned loss of a childhood that was stolen, not by a single traumatic event, but by a million small moments of survival. And today, we're going deep inside the psychology of that child. Because the effects don't vanish with age. They follow you. They shape you. They infiltrate your relationships, your career, and your deepest sense of self-worth. If you don't understand what happened, you will spend your adult life repeating the survival patterns that once saved you, but are now slowly killing you. Let's start with what's really happening on a developmental level. When children are consistently forced to emotionally support adults instead of the other way around, psychologists call this parentification. It's when a child becomes the caregiver, the peacekeeper, the therapist, the protector. And this isn't just unhealthy, it fundamentally rewires the brain. Think about the sheer amount of mental energy it takes for a child to be in charge of emotional regulation. Not just their own, but everyone else's. This constant state of vigilance creates something called hypervigilance. You become the good child, the quiet achiever, the therapist friend, the one who never asks for anything, and you wear that identity so convincingly that even you forget it's a mask. But deep down, something hurts. Something aches. Because the inner child you buried, they didn't die. They are still in there screaming silently. Why didn't anyone protect me? As you grow older, the symptoms become more complex and deeply ingrained. You might become hyper-independent. You refuse help, push people away, or never feel truly safe in love. You might feel numb during moments of happiness or joy. You might struggle to rest, because productivity is the only way you have ever felt worthy. This is the psychology of a child forced to grow up too fast. But the tragedy is this: what saved you then imprisons you now. So many of us are walking around as high-functioning, successful adults with a deeply neglected inner child pulling the strings. We overachieve to earn love. We stay silent to avoid abandonment. We take care of everyone, but secretly wish someone would just ask us if we're okay. We have this quiet, secret fantasy that maybe, just maybe, you'll finally get to fall apart and be held. That is the unmet need, not of your adult self, but of the child who never got to be a child. The first step to healing isn't fixing, it's witnessing. Because until you validate what happened, you will keep gaslighting yourself with thoughts like, it wasn't that bad. Other people had it worse. I turned out fine. But fine is a mask, too. And deep down, you know it. Carl Jung once said, there is no coming to consciousness without pain. Healing isn't about becoming someone new. It's about remembering who you were before the world told you who to be. So if you're someone who grew up too fast, know this: your maturity was never the problem. The problem was that you had no choice. But now You do. You can choose softness. You can choose to rest. You can choose to stop managing everyone else's emotions and start honoring your own. And maybe for the first time, you're finally growing up the right way. Not through pressure, not through fear, but through truth. You never had a childhood, but you still have a future. And this time, you get to write it.